read Complications, A Surgeon's Notes on an Imperfect Science by Atul Gawande, and for the first part of my presentation, I'm going to show you a demonstration on pain tolerance. Pain tolerance is something that I've always been pretty interested in. You know, you always hear people say, I have a high pain tolerance or I have a low pain tolerance, but I guess I never really understood where the pain tolerance originated from. So when I came across the section of pain tolerance in my book, I got pretty excited and fascinated by what I was reading. Studies show that dancers actually have a higher pain tolerance than other athletes, and you can pretty much assume that men have a higher pain tolerance than women. So I'm going to show you how you can measure your pain tolerance and compare it to others. The demonstration is actually pretty easy. I'm going to submerge my hand in body temperature water for 2 minutes. As you can see, you can't see, water. So my temperature is stable. Then I'll immediately dunk my hand into the ice water behind me and time myself to see how long I can keep it in. When I first start to feel the pain, that's going to be my pain threshold. And when I can't take the pain anymore, that's going to be my pain tolerance. So let's see how this goes. Have another minute. Probably should have put my hand in sooner, but I didn't think about that. Maybe I'll redo this, and maybe I won't. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, how you doing today, Mr. Cardine? Hope you're doing well. Sorry for the rambling. Still waiting. Almost there. Kind of. Not really. I have another 30 seconds. But anyways, I hope that I have a high pain tolerance, obviously, because I don't want to seem like a wimp. And also, I'm really interested in finding out like why dancers have a higher pain tolerance, because they don't get like hit like football players, so I can see why football players might have more of a tolerance to it, but dancers, I mean, maybe it's just because they're strong, but I don't know. Okay, here we go. From the body temperature water straight to the ice water. Ready? Reset my clock. And okay. Ten seconds in. 13 seconds and I already feel pain. Wow, this is awful. Oh my goodness. Oh, also the maximum they want people to hold this for is 120 seconds, because after that it gets obviously super dangerous. Okay, 30 seconds in. The average is 37 seconds for girls, so I'm gonna try and beat that, maybe 35, 36, 37. This is getting really, really difficult. Okay. Woo! 44 seconds in. So I started feeling pain at 10 seconds. That is my pain threshold. That's where it begins. And then I couldn't take it anymore at 44 seconds. So that is my pain tolerance. So the average for females is pain at 16 seconds and then their hand pulled out at 37 seconds. So for some reason my pain threshold begins sooner than others, but my pain tolerance is higher than the average. So I guess that's something good to look at, I suppose. Okay, I think that wraps it up for the first part. Now I'm going to move on to the second part. Let me get rid of this water. Okay. Think back to your childhood, specifically the years that you spent in school. Now think more specifically about how you felt when the teacher would call on you, even when your hand wasn't raised to answer a question. How did you react? Did you remain calm and collected, or was your first instinct to turn red as a tomato and freak out? If you're anything like me, the latter description fits you perfectly. Personally, I'm a pretty flustered person, especially under classroom stress and pressures, and I've always wondered why I would turn so bright red and why I could never produce a proper answer when I'm called on. So reading Complications by Mr. Gawande helped me to answer these thoughts. In the chapter Crimson Tide, found in part 2, he explains the mystery of blushing and how it affects us daily. So I'm going to read you his thoughts on the topic. Give me a second. Okay. What is perhaps most disturbing about blushing is that it produces secondary effects of its own. It is itself embarrassing and can cause intense self-consciousness, confusion, and loss of focus. Darwin, struggling to explain why this might be, conjectured that the greater blood flow to the face drained blood from the brain. It was after reading this that everything started to click in my head and make sense to me. I because of the intense pressures that I personally feel, I start to turn red, and the red color is produced by the blood flow to my face, which detracts from blood flow in my brain. And because of this, my classmates and I often have some extreme difficulty forming coherent thoughts and producing answers when called on in class. After this realization, I thought about whether or not things would change in the classroom if teachers knew more about this phenomenon in scientific study. What would happen if the classroom was more of a relaxed environment where students didn't have to worry about being called on? Would students produce better thoughts? Would they comprehend things easier? Personally, if I wasn't always scared of being called on, I would probably be able to think things through better. So I challenge teachers to do this. Don't put your students on the spot. Allow them to process information, put things together, and to form answers on their own without the need to always pray to not get called on. Let your students blossom.